Hello and welcome on this channel. My name is Maureen, and if you are new here, we talk about mindset, we talk about manifestation, and anything that is encompassed within this area. So, today I wanted to chat with you about finding inspiration, whether you need inspiration in one of your hobbies, if you're playing an instrument, if I don't know, you're a graphic designer, if you're marketing, or if it's in your business as well, because I do get some business owner as well who just come to me and ask me, how do I find motivation, or how do I find things to post every week and things like that. So this is why I wanted to chat with you, and hopefully this video will help you if you're a little bit stuck in a rut. So first of all, I do want to acknowledge that inspiration doesn't always come naturally. Like, we usually, when we start something, we have so many ideas and so many things that we actually want to put in place. And after a little while, this inspiration kind of fades away and it's become a little bit harder. And it's because when we talk about, or we do the same thing over and over again, and we've tried a couple of things, and you've kind of let that well dry out, if that is an expression somehow that people say. So obviously the inspiration is going to run out a little bit because you've run out yourself as well on things to talk about or to practice. So it's only natural that after a little while, inspiration kind of becomes a little bit slower. That happens to me as well, where sometimes I'm really struggling some weeks to, find interesting things that I do want to talk about, or how I want to show it, how I want to express it. And they are little things that you can do to kind of fill up that inspiration. But I do want to say at first that it's important to recognize that it's okay if you've run out of inspiration. Do not beat yourself up about it, because that's not how you find inspiration. And just acknowledge that it's okay to not have inspiration, and that you are not a machine. Sometimes, things will come up when you take a walk, or when you actually trying to let go of that things. So yes, I guess that's one thing that could be considered as a tip, is to actually really step out of what you're doing when you struggle to find inspiration, and to really try to do something else. I know it seems counterproductive when we say it, but actually this works the best. I find my best inspirations when I'm actually not looking for it. So when I'm going with a friend and suddenly, I don't know, I'm gonna walk outside and I'm gonna see something, I'm gonna hear something, and I'm like, oh, that is exactly what I need, and I can talk about this, and this, and this for so many hours. And usually it's kind of this type of subjects where it's like, "Ugh, don't even get me started on this," and like blah 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 blah, proceeds to talk for 5 hours. So it's this type of things that kind of keep you going, but that you might not be thinking of in this very moment. And you will see something, hear something, maybe taste something, and suddenly you will get this inspiration that you need. So actually, sometimes when we just lack inspiration, the best thing you can do is to not seek inspiration, but just to kind of wait for it in a sense and do something completely different. Because your mind will not be so focused on it, you will be able to release that pressure you're putting on yourself to find inspiration. Because sometimes when we're so focused on some things, we actually don't see the bigger picture that we need, and we're just so focused on this one thing that we're not able to see the little details outside that could actually help us. So I guess that's my first tip here, is to just step out of it, do something completely different. Another one of my tips for inspiration would be to just ask for a friend. Ask maybe what they're doing, if they have other ideas for you. Ask maybe even your family, like relatives, your coworker, people that you find inspiring and that you feel like they might be able to help you because they're giving good advices or something. So sometimes, again, we're so focused on something that we need an external point of view. And some people are really good at that, to see things with another perspective than we actually have. And that's why I love seeking advice or inspiration in other people, because we all work differently. We have different backgrounds. We have a different way of thinking. We have different perspective. And in the end, isn't that what we want in our life? A different perspective sometimes to things. It's important to bring your own color palette to it, your own inspiration, your own touch to it. But it's good to take some time ideas from other people that kind of help you, move forward into your inspiration and what you're trying to achieve here. So, by inspiration, what does inspiration means to you, and what are you trying to achieve for gaining that inspiration? Okay. Another point is, why do you need inspiration? Why do you need this in whatever project or whatever you're doing? Define your intention for finding that inspiration. And sometimes you will find different subjects as well into it. I personally love to do a mind map. So I'm writing, that's especially true when I do events. I think when I'm trying to, I have a title and I'm just trying to find keywords that link to that retreat and to what I actually want the retreat to be, what I want the event to be, and how I want people to feel when they're reading about it. So I like to do mind maps and I like to include keywords in it. So what you're trying to find for your inspiration, or through a hobby, a business, whatever you want inspiration for, trying to add those keywords into what you're doing, define it. Because I think a lot of the time is when people want to start something and they actually think, oh, I don't have inspiration, is just because they need to organize their ideas a little bit better. And sometimes people just don't know how to start either. That's kind of a stop to inspiration, is everything is just so overwhelming that they don't know where to start. So this is an important point, because mind mapping will actually help you putting those ideas down and really, kind of declutter your thoughts and putting organizations in your thoughts and putting organizations into what you're actually trying to achieve with finding your inspiration. And this is a very powerful tool, and I think everybody should do mind maps in their lives. So, yeah. I think, as I mentioned, inspiration, comes and goes. And it's perfectly normal because we get excited through different things. And it's like our energies is always up and downs. We go through different experiences. So obviously sometimes we'll feel more inspired than other times. And it's important to be excited about what you're doing and inspired about what you're doing. Because otherwise, what is life but boring? I'm just thinking, I know some people who just go to work and, that's it. And of course, you're totally allowed. And I do hope that within your work, you're finding inspiration and excitement into it. I do wish that for everyone. But I do think that when you don't have that component of fun outside, then you might not feel as inspired as you think you would. And I think this is where inspiration draws from a lot, is excitement as well, and the energy that we're bringing. Again, it comes and it goes according with time, but if you still feel that little spark within you to do whatever it is that you're trying to do with your inspiration, if you feel excited about it and you feel passionate about it, then you're more likely to get inspiration. So if you're kind of in a rut and you're like, I don't have any inspiration, maybe ask yourself, is it because I'm actually really liking inspiration, but I love what I'm doing here, or who I am when I'm doing this? Or is it because maybe you just don't feel that spark anymore and maybe a change needs to happen? For example, for me, and I'm gonna give it as an example, I draw a lot of inspiration from when I travel. So when I discover a new culture, a new city, new people, I immediately have so much inspiration because my work is about people. It's about understanding their mindset, their experiences, what they've been through, and what is going on in their mind today because of those experiences. So I've always enjoyed traveling because our mindset is also impacted by our culture. And I've always loved discovering those new culture, even understanding different languages because it allows me to understand the little idioms into it, the little specificity that maybe don't exist in other language that makes someone think a certain way. And it's always been so interesting. And I know that when I travel, I get very, very inspired. And I find just a lot of joy doing that. And I know it's a type of excitement that I don't necessarily have when I'm not traveling, when I'm not, out in the world so much. But it's something I've always enjoyed. And I remember when I was, under 18, so I was a minor, and I couldn't really make my own choices, and I didn't really travel, but I always thought that when I would grow up and turn out 18, I would start traveling everywhere, and I would meet so many different people and discover as many places as I could, because it's something I've always enjoyed, and I do get a lot of inspiration from that. So maybe try to figure out what is something that you find inspiration on. And if you don't know in this moment, it's perfectly okay. But I do encourage everyone to try to find that little spark within you and really go for it. Because once you find it, you will understand the meaning of life. When you're curious about things, you enjoy life in every moment, because we do learn a lot from doing hobbies. Life is not just about work. Life is about everything we get curious for, and about all the inspiration that we actually can draw from it and create even more beautiful things with that inspiration. And usually you can see it in the people you admire. What makes the people that you admire who they are? And for example, in the people that I admire a lot, it is their originality, their ideas, how they speak, and what they do in this world. And I'm sure it draws a lot from their own inspiration, from what they see in the world. And I think we all need this one person to draw us inspiration off. Of course, don't reproduce their exact same life, because everyone has a different life and experience and all of that, so we cannot have just the same life as someone else. But who is someone that you get inspired from, and maybe trying to think with their own eyes, why would this person do, why would this person think? Trying to walk in their shoes for a little while and see how the inspiration would be coming to you in this very way. And I do really believe there's inspiration into everything that we can find. It's just about seeing it and understanding it and having something that actually speaks to us and resonate with us, that we actually are interested in it and do want to talk really about it and really want to develop it into maybe new skills, who knows, or just share it with the world. And that's personally how I draw inspiration a lot. Like every week I have to create content. If I just link inspiration with my work, every week I create content, but it's also because I just love it. I love the creative part of creating a video, creating a post, writing about it. And also sharing it with everyone. And I draw a lot of inspiration from people's answer, from little details that I see, from my friends or my partner talking to me, and suddenly it's gonna, something resonates within me. I'm like, I gotta talk about this. Not their personal experience, but just the subject that they're talking about. And I gotta talk about this here and there. And I wanna share it because I've heard it a lot of times. So maybe it's a common problem that people have. And this is where I draw my inspiration from a lot of different sources. So what or who is your sources around this world? And I think, again, not seeking inspiration is actually a big component of it, but also respecting your space, that when you don't feel like you have inspiration, it's also okay for you to not have inspiration. Because the more you will push it when you're stuck, the less likely it will come to you. So I guess that was all I had to say for today. If you have any comment, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, I hope this video really helped you. If you liked it, put a thumbs up, subscribe. It really helps the channel. And I will see you very soon. All right, bye.